but I hadn't even pushed the record button yet. So, welcome to live, y'all.
Hey
This
y'all.
Mary Poppin over here. And we're gonna be talking a little bit about astrocartography and her journey. As I gave her an astrocartography reading I think about a month or two ago. But we
hmm
were talking about like the Venus and Cancer transit and like being in this place of like being open and receptive and receiving, and it's just been tea the whole time. But I did press
Yeah.
record, so now I press record. So y'all just hopping into like the mid section of everything. And
Yeah. I mean, we're still gonna have some juicy conversations coming because we just be popping ideas and conversations off of each other.
no,
So I love the energy.
for real.
Um, but like I was saying, I we were having a conversation just about shadow work, being able to receive blessings from the universe, especially going through this transit of Venus and Cancer. So I was telling her the dream that I had last night was basically showing me that, well, one, I'm gonna tell you the dream. It was basically I was with somebody and I am single, but like I was dating this guy, and basically he was cheating on me right in front of me with another girl. And the girl was trying to like make me jealous. She was like, "Oh, do this and that." And I was like, "No." And then she was like, "Oh, are you jealous?" And I was like, "No. I mean, if you want him, you can have him. Like,
Yeah, that's
what's for me
it's all
is not."
good.
For real. So, and then like he looked at me like all mad or whatever, and I was like, I liked him before, but if you want him, you can have him. And I just like basically walked away. But then I also saw my brother, and my brother, gave me a hug, and it made me also realize that I do like this sense of comfort and vulnerability and, feeling protected and secure. And I feel like I get that pureness from my family. And but it also made me realize that like I also really value myself, and no matter what it is, like they're not gonna, steer me in the direction that makes me feel less than. So I was journaling about that yesterday, and I feel like that just gave me more reassurance that like I am secure within myself, and like secure within like how I feel about, you know, like how much I love myself and stuff. So that was it. That's what I wanted to give you.
Yeah, no, that's very very real. The dreams has an interesting way of showing what's bottled up in that subconscious mind, right? Like
Mhm.
you be like, no, no, and then you go to sleep and you like, wait, where the hell is all this coming from? And dreams don't necessarily mean like verbatim. Like it's not like a some dreams can be very plain, like
Mhm.
in the dream, and you like, yeah, this is very, very clear. And then some have like secret coded kind of messages that you have to decipher of like, why was I seeing this particular vision in my dream? Or why was I seeing this
Mhm.
particular thing happening in my dream? Like it's very and they've been very vivid, especially since that the this Pisces is on that 29th degree right now. Neptune and Pisces
Mm.
29th degree, they've been very vivid, very like um do you know like old people, like more old people that you used to like interact with are coming through in your dreams as well too? Like, do you have
Mm.
like or very reminiscent dreams and stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot of them, and I was asking myself, like, why is this happening? Like, a lot of past people been coming up in my dreams, like old people, not old as in like elderly, but old people as in people that are not in my life anymore, that's been in my life like a couple years ago. So when that happens, I just pray about it. I'm just like, anything that no longer serves me, please keep it away. I rebuke that energy. Like, I'm really just trying to move forward and attract better and bigger things ahead. So I don't know if that's because of the Pisces transit or Neptune,
I think
but
because I look at Neptune as like the subconscious mind, or Pisces is
mhm.
the subconscious energy or the subconscious mind. I look a lot at the energy that brings up things that might have been uh, basically stored in that subconscious part. Or
Mhm.
of your life. Now, usually we look at that as more so 12th house, but still
Mhm.
at the time, it's like one of those things where you like, huh, why is this particular thing coming up? It's probably because it was buried at some point in time in the back of your mind, which,
Yeah.
like I said, is that and 29th degree is like the critical degree. It's the
Mhm.
it's the end before the beginning for the new cycle or the new phase. So when those
Oh,
things
that's
start
good.
up, it's like, oh, okay, well, what needs to be cleared out? And on top of that, we're about to go into retrograde at the end of the month. So still October. So
Mm.
all of that stuff is gonna be like coming up.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That that's not what I need right now because 'cause I've
yeah.
been at peace.
Like, oh God.
I've been like, even this morning, I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm just so at peace. Like, please just keep it like this. Like, I don't got anybody bothering me right now. I'm just focused on my business, focused on my family, focused on my goals. Like, it just feels so good. Like, I'm just in my own cocoon. Like, I just don't want to be bothered by like any past people and stuff. But I feel like also that is very necessary. Anything that comes from the past is supposed to remind you of something that you need to heal. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
still,
yeah, it could be a conduit. The past,
hmm,
we don't want to like sit in the past and focus on the past
yeah,
wholeheartedly. It can be a conduit for growth. You know,
hmm,
like, okay, well, let me go back to see why these things might be of a focus, or why maybe my mind is fixated on things, or even generational, cycles and things like that. That's why I love,
hmm,
personally, I do, evolutionary astrology, to talk about those particular things that might be like stored or stuck in the mind, or stored and stuck in the brain, that may
hmm,
from like a previous cycle, or even if it wasn't like a previous cycle, from like, family members, childhood, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's definitely good to
yeah,
know. I am right now zooming into, so Mary here, like I said, we did a reading um
yeah.
that like a month or two ago, right before she actually ended up going back to her hometown. I'm trying to pull it up right now, and
Yeah.
did a reading. Well, we did a reading about, I think, New York. Was it New York?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, it's around New York before you went on a trip in New York, and then you went back home. And,
Mhm.
and we did a reading for that. And so now we're here on this live to talk about what was explored in Guyana, what those things, the reading. Now I can't remember the reading verbatim. I'm pulling up the map right now, and
Mhm.
so going to be pulling up your chart as well. Uh,
Yeah, so I'm gonna also introduce myself. So, hi y'all. My name is Mary Thompson, also known as Rachel Thompson. I'm a real estate agent in New York, Long Island, and I came to. Should I call you a rainy
oh,
or
you could call me shit. I guess, yeah, you can say Rainy, a Rainy. I'm so somebody calling me crew that I really
should I call you crew
go
too?
by
I'm
a Rainy.
like, is it
But
crew
yeah,
or
you
rainy?
can call me a Rainy. That's cool.
I like a rainy storm. I just love your name,
Thank I love it too.
but I love crew too. But yeah, I went to a rainy storm before I went on my trip. We also talked I got my first reading from her. Like she took my
A shout
astrology, like birth
out
chart, virginity.
I'm
Yeah.
there, yeah.
And she gave me the best reading like that I've obviously ever had. But I've also been a fan of hers for a while. I've been looking at her videos for a long time, and she said in one of her videos she does readings. I'm like, oh my god, like yes. So I booked her, and she told me so many things that I just like opened my mind and opened like and also gave me a lot of confirmation about myself. So before my trip, I was like, let's do a astro. What is it called?
Astrocartography reading.
Yeah, astrocartography reading, because we wanted to try it out. We wanted to test how, what she said based on what she said and also my experience. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I went through, while I was there. And also, I guess you can give a reminder of what you said. I honestly can't remember because I wanted to also not have any bias or try to control anything. And I really wanted to experience it for what it is so that, while we're doing this, it can be like very transparent and very honest with like what we did. So,
Definitely. Yeah, it is interesting because it was like right before. Honestly, I can't remember. I'm looking at the lines right now that's over this area for you specifically, but
hmm
for exactly, but I know it had a lot to do with spirit. I think spiritual
hmm
experiences and familial family experiences and things like that, because you do have your Neptune IC, so roots, home, family, spirituality, things like that. You also have a Jupiter square ascendant, line going through there. You have Neptune, Mercury, and I would count the Chiron line. We'll just stick with like the Mercury, Neptune, ascendant, and Mercury and MC. So uh,
hmm
communication, family matters, family ties, and a lot of like spiritual. Um, I would say not necessarily spiritual reckoning because that sounds over the top, but just spiritual revelations, if you will,
hmm
within the space. So
Okay. Um, where do I even start, man? So I would say, okay. So I would start by prefacing this whole thing by saying I before going on this trip, I wasn't necessarily close with my mom. I don't want to get too personal, but I have to if I'm gonna tell you guys about my
yeah,
trip.
right.
So I wasn't necessarily close with her, but this was a family trip. I went with my dad, my mom, and my sisters, and through this time as well, I wasn't close with my mom's side of the family either. So I was very worried about how this whole trip was gonna go because I was like, ugh. This is gonna be so awkward. I'm gonna see my grandma, my aunties, like, and all these people. They're gonna give me evil eye and shit. But when I got there, it was very inviting. It was like, I mean, we did say a little things like, talk a little bit, but we were it was kind of like, you know what, it's in the past and we're gonna, enjoy our time while we're here. The last time I saw them was, I believe, like 2 or 3 years ago. So
Mm.
um, so yeah, and then so I spent time at my grandma's house. They made food for us. I also saw my aunts, my cousins, and it was literally like I never left. It's like another home there for me. Um, and then what happened? While I was there, I think there was Mercury retrograde while I was there. Yeah. So
Mm,
mm.
mm. Ha ha ha! And you do have a Mercury line, out with that MC. So
Mhm.
the Mercury now, the Mercury. And I think you Mercury Gemini, right?
Yeah. And then also my Mercury is in retrograde. So I don't
Yeah.
even know what that's supposed to be. But while I was there, a situation of mine contacted me and it really brought up all this feeling of, ugh, I'm in the same pattern. I'm in the same, relationship dynamic where I'm attracted to emotionally unavailable men. And it, like, before I even went on the trip, I was telling my friend, like, ugh, I don't know where we are in this situation. I cut the person off, but when I was on my trip, they contacted me again and we started talking like, nothing ever happened. And then by like the middle of the trip, I got confirmation that, this is not something I want anymore. This is something that I completely want to cut off of my life. So I was really happy that I was surrounded also by my family members, and it wasn't really super emotionally hard to go through it. So I was really happy about that as well. Other than that, I feel like I was also in my menstrual cycle, so I was very emotional. I was
Mm,
very, very emotional that whole time where I felt like, all those baggages and feelings of feeling unappreciated and feeling just unwanted and all of those things started coming up. But I feel like I was also able to ground myself because I was working out every morning with one of my cousins, and we would jog by the water and we would like pray by the water as well. Also, I don't even think I told you guys exactly which country I went to. I went to
oh,
Guyana.
oh yeah, I mentioned it a little bit at the beginning. I don't know, but I mentioned a little bit at the beginning.
Oh, okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, Guyana's in South America, so it was really nice. And every morning, like at 6 a.m., me and my cousin would go and jog by the water and just like really just take in the breeze and just really enjoy, just the morning and just really take that time to like get our mind off of everything else that's happening. So I feel like that also helped me with like moving on and really helped me connect more with myself. And I hope I'm not talking too loud. I'm in a coffee
No,
shop.
no, I fine.
I'm always aware of my surroundings. But yeah, that really helped me just ground myself. Other than that, I with my cousins, we also got really a lot closer throughout that whole trip. We went partying together, and like it feels like instead of cousins, they're like my brothers and sisters. Like I'm like, wow, like these people are like I can trust them more than anybody else, that's in my life. And they're all like kind of like the same age as me, and like
Mm,
we were just able to just connect more. Like one of my cousins, he's so annoying. He lives like an hour and 30 minutes away from where me and my grandma and my other cousin were staying. And I
mhm,
literally had to beg him to stay like for 3 days with us because I think I was leaving for like a couple like after that, a couple of days after. So me and them, we all just like went traveling around Guyana like together. We would go to like different restaurants, and like they would take me, to different beaches and stuff like that together. So it was really fun, and they're super annoying. We would argue every single day for no, for no reason, but whatever. Other than that, we also own land over there. So my dad showed us, all the work that we were doing on the land. And I was even telling him, what I want to create there, which is kind of like a safe house for, and I was telling crew this before, but like we have land there that, that is pretty much vacant. I've been Oh, that's cool.
I've been studying astrocartography for 2 years. Hi, Freya. What's good? Welcome. I love astrocartography. That's what we're talking about here right now. And
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting to. We were also, well, we went to see the land, and I was able to tell him, like where I wanted to the house to be, and like he was making like even a lake and stuff like that for us. So
Mm,
it's like now we're like creating the like foundation of everything, and I love it because I'm able to experience that. Also throughout my whole trip, I was working. Like I was working on a property that, well, one of my buyers put in an offer on when I was still in America. So while I was on my trip, I was going back and forth with the seller's listing agent, and it was so stringent because like every day I would have to contact him and like follow up with him and make sure everything is going smoothly. But thank God, like it ended up going smoothly and I had connection and stuff. So we were able to get a fully executed contract while I was still on vacation, which I was worried about before because we had to do a 1031 exchange, and it's so much, boring real estate stuff, but it was a very complicated situation that was able to get finalized while I was still on vacation. So I feel like that was also the help of, having, I think one of my lines going through Guyana, I
You
can't
have a
remember.
you have a Mercury line as well too.
Mm,
sextiling that MC. Um,
Mhm.
but it's in Gemini and it's retrograde. Your Mercury Gemini is retrograde on top
Mm.
of Mercury retrograde period. So, and usually, you know, when we talk about Mercury, we talk about communication. You can also see Mercury as contracts as well too.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
seem like I'm trying to communicate these contracts, but like what's going on with like what's I need more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And we had to go back and forth. We had to make changes to the contract. We had to make so much changes to the deal to make it work, but it all worked out in the end. So I'm happy about that. And what else happened? After that, I after that, like after the whole trip and everything, like I was very close with my mom by the end of it.
mm,
Me and my sisters also got very close. My dad was doing his own thing. Like he was traveling on his own and stuff. He was like, "All right, y'all stay with your mom." But it was a really great trip. It was really relaxing. And then when I got home, I feel like I just had this refreshed feeling. Also, with my social media, I got a lot more attention. I don't know why every time I go to Guyana, I get a viral video or like a video that does really well. But every time I like go on social media and post, I get a lot of attention, and a lot of people feel like they're on vacation with me, and like it's just like it's really good. So I feel like I need to be like a content creator that like goes on vacation a lot or something for that to work. Um,
you
and other than that,
have contacts because I'm trying to think. You are ninth house Gemini. Let me think.
yeah, I
And
think I am.
is your let me think. So ninth house Gemini, 10th house Cancer, 11th house is Leo. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, you have a Leo 11th house. So being seen, um, really needing to be seen, actually, especially when it comes to like, I don't know necessarily about travel, especially with the Leo energy, but specifically like putting yourself on a platform. But Mercury also has to do with social media too. You know,
mhm,
Gemini has to do with media. Pisces has to do with media as well too. But Gemini and Pisces usually kind of toe the line of like, you know, putting yourself out there. I'm trying to think of your chart right now because I don't have it pulled up, like your actual placements. Um,
mhm,
but you do have Neptunian energy as well here. Um, Neptune can have some contacts here as well too. I did want to ask though, spiritually, like I know that you talked about your roots,
mhm.
family dynamic, and things, but did you notice anything, or did you have any like spiritual like experiences that came up specifically personally beyond like the healing energy that you experienced with your mother? Because we are talking
Mm,
about, and I think you have Capricorn in the fourth house. I think it was
yeah, I do.
Capricorn fourth house, and I think Chiron also too in the fourth house.
Mhm,
Healing through, which you do have a Chiron line over here as well. So healing like those roots, those familial roots and things. And
mhm.
uh, but I'm not really sure what your Neptune placement is. But whatever your
I think
Neptune,
it's in Aquarius. Mhm.
did you have any experiences as in regards to any type of spiritual experience? It doesn't have to be anything specific, but um,
Um, I feel like spiritually, the only thing that really happened was feeling like a release, or like a sense of like a feeling of release. Like I said, with the relationship dynamic, it's something that I've been trying to break for years. It's not like it was something that it was very, very new. So I do feel like that healing energy was really big for me, and I don't think that should even be overlooked, because it was something that like I've been working on, and I've been like asking God, like, can you help me break this cycle? And even with my journaling, like it's been a something that I've been writing, like, help me break the cycle. And I just don't like falling into the same thing over and over again. And I feel like on that trip I was finally able to really break it. And I do feel like it was easier to go through that pain because I had that family around me that was nurturing and healing. But as for like anything like ghost or like anything like
No,
that, I don't know. Or
self-
like,
to me
oh,
that in itself, that feeling is definitely spiritual,
and
or
I
a form of spiritual release. Um,
mhm.
definitely, for sure.
Because I do feel like certain things are brought to you from past lives and like brought into this life for you to learn or like break or things like that. So I do feel like that was a really important pinnacle in my life. Other than that, um, I'm really trying to think.
Hmm. You also have a Jupiter line not too far from here. Well,
Mm,
that explain the feeling that you felt with your family as well too, because right?
mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
my
and
Jupiter.
it's trying your ascendant, which is in Libra. So feeling like
Mm,
internal harmony. Libra rules like relationships and intimate connections as well too.
mhm,
Intimate connections, and then Cancer, of course, is just all the feel goods. You know what I'm saying? So even as you were explaining, like your relationship with something that you kind of broke away from, and then having that like familial support to kind of come and be like, "Oh, girl, let's go to the club, or let's go run on the beach, or um,
mhm,
go, have a good time and just have that reassurance." I would say with Jupiter and Cancer energy definitely playing out on that line. I could definitely see that for sure.
mhm. And I also felt very taken care of. Like there was nothing I really had to worry about while I was there. Like anything like money related was taken care of. Any food I wanted was taken care of. Any like just anything, like, if I needed to, like, stay at somebody's place, like, my family members all live, like, in the same area, so it's like, I just always had somewhere to stay. If I wanted to, like, get food or, like, at one of my aunt's house, she'd be like, "Yeah, come tomorrow morning, like, for breakfast, like, I wanna take care of you." So it was very, like I just felt so taken care of the whole time. It was really peaceful.
Do you see yourself possibly moving to Guyana?
Oh yeah, 100%. Once our house is finished, I definitely see myself at least living there for a couple months, maybe during the winter, and then coming back here and just, being here during the spring and summer time. Cause I hate the cold, girl. Like I can't stand it. I
Saying
can't.
business is bad for business, bad for business. And I don't.
Mhm.
It feels very polarizing to be cold or in cold
Mhm.
weathers and things like that. Also, too,
Yeah.
talked a little bit about like you mentioned it briefly, but I think I've been in my mind as you're talking or listening to you talk, but trying to be present. Thank you. But listening to you talk about when you would get up in the morning and go for like walks and meditation and just kind of be in that energy as too is very Neptunian as well. Like
mm.
um being spiritually connected to the not only the spiritual body but the physical body as well. Really allowing yourself to kind of just be in flow really, because Neptunian
Mhm.
is that like you're in flow, like you're not,
Yeah.
like you said, I wasn't really worried about this or that, which of course
Mhm.
support that with Jupiter in Cancer, and also um that Libra rising as well too. But just being in this space of receptivity from spirit, you know,
Mhm.
I needed to go here, I could go here. If I
Yeah.
go here, I could go to this space. If so I don't know. I think
Mhm.
sounds like I sound comforted, hearing about and to go
Yeah.
like
And
really
even
that.
and even to add on, like, in those waters that me and my cousin were, like, jogging on, it's actually called the what is it called? The seawall. So
Hmm.
we would jog every day over there, and, like, one of my cousins were warning me. They're like, "Oh, there's mermaids and sirens in that water. Like, don't
Mm,
go there at night or whatever." But I'm like, I'm trying to see some of that.
yeah, right, right. That's never definitely
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and the fact that we were, like, praying there, I feel like that also made the energy stronger. I'm not saying that we were offering, to the water or, like, the mermaids over there, but I'm just saying even connecting to the water and also, like, that Cancerian energy is just, like I just feel like it was necessary for that healing as well.
Definitely. I'm excited to see the transition over there. I would love to like maybe even make this part series kind of thing
Right?
every now and then
Yes.
on and talk about like the different experiences that you experience, maybe even further down the line when you start sharing more of like your travels and stuff like there, we can like put clips and like some of the stuff
Mhm.
you did or some of the stuff that you experience and things like that.
Yeah.
Can
Mhm.
hella wait, hella kitty, hella kitty. I'm not. Love this. Just started learning about astrocartography. Rose says, "Peace, queens. What's the tea?"
Hey,
Listen,
queen.
what's up, Rose? What's good? What's going on? And then Paradigm Vibe said, "I studied numerology for 3 years. Still feel like I have a lot to learn." Now,
Oh,
we ain't
yeah.
gotten to know numerology just yet here on the channel, but we're talking about astrocartography here currently.
Mhm.
I love that for you. I love that you were able to really experience that on just so many different levels, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and that reconnection also to back to your roots, um,
Mhm.
with your mother, because fourth house definitely has a lot to do with like the relationship that you have to your mother, which your IC is in. So like past
Mhm.
our roots or past lives healings and things like that as well too.
And
Um,
also, I was seeing a lot of like 555s while I was there. Like it was just a repetition. And even though like Guyana with their like license plates and stuff like that, it's totally different from here. So it was really crazy to me that I was seeing like 555 a lot on signs and on receipts and on license plates and stuff like that because I really did feel like change was coming or change you know, was happening inside of me as well. So I was ready for that change. I was like, when I come back, like I just want to see what's going to unfold, and I do feel like life has been completely different since I had left and came back, and in a good way, of course, because I even told you, like, now I do feel like I'm forced to rest, like, I'm really forced to be in this energy of really, like, receiving and really, like, being in tune with myself because I'm always on the move. I'm always ready for the next thing. I'm always controlling what's happening and taking care of people around me. So, um, like I think that was the change I needed to see, and that healing really makes it. I want to say easier because it's still not easy, but it makes it more um able to do it. I would say.
Maybe. Especially, well, I guess it's really given right now lessons from a Venus and Cancer. Honestly, literally, love-
And I'm a Gemini, so like
yeah,
our mind is just always going and on to the next thing, and it's just like it's very masculine energy. We're always thinking of new ideas and new stuff, and I mean that's how I naturally am. So it's
hmm
like me really having to learn to be on the other side of things and really able to let things play out the way it should.
hmm being in that place of ease and receptivity, even though it can be quite difficult, like we talked about earlier in the world that we
Mhm.
in of like
Yeah.
just allowing things to unfold and come to us versus like trying to force the hand. Um,
Mhm.
in different situations and things like that. So it's definitely warranted. Well, shit, I would love to, like I said again, just keep more information and just when you do are traveling and exploring, like I said, like you don't have to update us every time, but when you feel called to do so, like coming back
Mhm.
having these different conversations, and even how those are like affecting not only just your astrocartography, but even through the transits, like
Yeah.
experiencing, like, it's interesting that we're having this conversation now that Venus is in Cancer. Um,
Mhm.
and I think Venus was in Aries when you went on that trip, if I'm not,
Yeah.
yeah, Venus was in Aries
Yeah.
when on that trip. So it was a different energy. Gotta get it, gotta go, da 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 da.
Mhm.
Before you went on the
Yeah.
trip. After the trip, it's like, okay, I can appreciate the Venusian Venus in Cancer energy because this is
Mhm.
allowed me to experience. And Venus in Cancer, that experience of like true not only receptivity but abundance from just being able to relax beats anything. Like beats the hustle, the bustle, the
Yeah.
kind of energy, because essentially it really just kind of really burns you out, for real, for real.
Mhm. No, it's true, and it's crazy that the amount of times we really tried to get on this live together and try to do this, and it was just not working out. And then even after that, I would get busy, you would get busy, and it's just like, oh, like, why is it taking so long for us
Right.
to have this conversation, you know? And I just feel like we were supposed to do it at this time, at this stage. And I do feel like, I had more time to prepare for this conversation, like look over my notes and like, even what I've been going through right now even ties into the whole story of my whole trip, So
Mm.
it's like at the right time. And even before, like I was still in the hustle bustle, I was still going out, getting listings, working, making phone calls, and it just wasn't, I wasn't even in the mindset of being able to really be in this, feminine, receptive energy. I was really in that, masculine, go, gotta get it, do this, do that. And I just feel like, yeah, like I said, this is just the right time.
No, seriously, it's interesting that you pointed that out, like leading up to this conversation. Of
Mhm.
it literally is the up to the transit of Venus and Cancer in itself, like being
Mhm.
receptive. Woke up this morning. We knew we were supposed to meet today. We
Mhm.
today. We were supposed to meet, I think, on Sunday or some shit. I forget. But
Yeah.
that then, but it's like, okay, are you good today? Can we do this today? Okay, you got time? I'm like, I just woke up. I'm out of, just whatever. Rolled out of
Mhm.
bed. I was like 20 minutes, probably took like 40, whatever, and we hopped on. It was just like it just got
Mhm. Very smooth.
very ease. So you know what, the
Mhm.
next time that we do a session, and I think it's good now to know, I think we got a lot more out of waiting to have the conversation than trying to jump into this conversation like right after or as soon as you got back. So
Yeah.
moving forward, when you do come back from your trips after you've had time to kind of like sit in the energy and just have time to like decompress,
Reflect. Mhm.
reflect, then we'll, after on the latter, we'll jump into like what you've experienced from before you left to during when you were there, like having some time as to have left, and then we
Mhm.
can have conversations of like reflection. I think it definitely did just work out perfectly, honestly,
Mhm.
with this with
Yeah, and even this morning, like when you woke up too, I was like, "Yo, like I'm not even ready." So it was like literally perfect that like we weren't even ready at the same time, and I was able to take my time, get ready, come to this nice location, this coffee shop, whatever. And it just worked out. Like it was not forced. Like it just worked out perfectly. And like, I don't have to feel rushed to get off the phone. None of my stuff are dying. Like, remember, like we
the
literally
first, first time we did it, the first we was trying to, so the first time we came out here, we was trying to figure out how this shit was, because this is the first time I've done sideways the invite thing. So we was trying to,
Mhm.
for some reason it wouldn't connect. I think Mercury was in retrograde at that time too, if I wasn't.
I think so. I think so. I think it was. And I was like, yo, what?
Why
We
is
were
this not?
having so much.
And then
Mhm.
then it was your birthday. It was like around your time of your birthday. So you were like,
Yeah.
damn, I can't make it because I'm about to go out for my birthday. My dad just surprised me. So it was just so, it was just, yeah, right place, right place, right time, right like
Right,
energy and
everything.
to kind of just ease into and work versus trying to like and it's not like we was like strong force in the hand, but just trying to make things happen when we want.
Yeah.
And this is the
Mhm.
conversation we were having before I actually at the beginning, but before I pressed record, we were having these conversations about, this Venus and Cancer receptivity, being in a space of being present, really.
Mhm.
Mary was talking about just, allowing time to rest and being in this energy of, you know, just allowing things to happen versus trying to force a hand. And even as uncomfortable as this stuff feels, because it feels gravely uncomfortable to like sometimes allow the universe
Mhm.
to do what it do. It usually always works out at the end when you do allow for that energy in surrender versus like forcibly trying to
Mhm.
make things happen or make quick fast
Yeah.
things like that. So
Yeah, we were also talking about, just trusting yourself, trusting how things are going to play out, just trusting that, the universe is making things happen the way it's supposed to, and try instead of trying to like force the hand like you were saying. And one thing I love that you said before, crew, is that it's like you trusting is telling the universe, like, yeah, like you're gonna make this happen better than I even see it myself.
mhm.
Me trying to force it makes me look like I know what's best for me, which we don't know how good
Yeah.
it can actually get. We really don't know. And like one thing I always pray about is just guiding me towards my purpose, guide me towards the things that I'm really here and meant to do, the people that I'm supposed to help. Just keep guiding me and showing me the right direction, because I really don't know, like, if I mean, I do feel like I'm living my purpose, but of course, like if God has me doing something that's bigger than what I'm doing now on a larger scale, just continue guiding me towards it.
Right. Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's real. It's like becoming a I was talking about we was talking about earlier, just like becoming a homie to your higher self or becoming a home,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like dapping your higher self,
Yep.
dapping you. It's like looking at your spirit or looking at your higher self of like somebody that you can really trust to have your back. I know we live in a world where like that can be a rarity sometimes to like be around people or have like that trust for groups and that's Pluto and Aquarius is teaching us about like associations, group associations, friendships, being a part
Mhm.
of the community and things like that. But looking at your higher self is that, or looking at your spiritual team, your guidance community as that. Like at the end of the day, I might not know exactly what's going to be going on in front of me, but I know that you
Mhm.
have in my back, regardless of that. It to me, especially when we're talking about like trying to control the hand or we're trying to
Mhm.
have rule or this thumb over
Mhm.
our world and our universe without uh, clarity or guidance from the universe, it basically just strips us away or takes us further away from the truth, which is actually that once again, like you said, we really
Mhm.
don't know shit. Like and not
Mhm.
like, but we really don't know how good it can get. Not only don't we not know how good it can actually get, but we don't know the universe's greater plan for us. Our mental minds, especially in this humanly form, in this humanly vessel, we can only get to a certain we can only see or we can only get to a certain space. And I know we
Mhm.
live in a world that is kind of come fuddled or come bubble fucked, I guess, around like this logical thing or this logical mind. Like you have
Mhm.
to be logical about this. You have to like that, and I know you
Mhm.
earlier talked about like being in this place of like Delulu,
Yeah.
but if we're talking about Delulu for real, we're really talking about spirit. Like
Mhm.
knowing and trusting spirit that not only things are going to work out for you, but there's a greater divine plan that's in the works that you can't see beyond the curtain. You know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah. Yeah,
allow
and as we're
intuitive
mhm.
body to lead for sure.
Yeah. And
What were
as
you?
we're talking about this, yeah, I'm kind of like getting the chills, because it's like even last night I did this guided meditation about connecting to your higher self. So I literally just visualize myself just laying down and my higher self above me and
Mhm.
me just connecting. So even you like tapping up your higher self. I'm like, yo, this is literally what I visualized myself doing last night, just
Mhm.
connecting with my higher self and letting what she is above me just connect into who I am right now, so that, moving forward, life is just easier. I'm just going with ease and just with guided, intentions, and just being guided into the right places, the right conversations, the right people to speak to. And it's just wow. And also,
Mhm.
just to add on more to what you were saying before, um just being positive. It's really about really having that optimistic mindset about knowing and trusting that your future is still bright. You moving and trusting in yourself is going to lead you in the right places, instead of being pessimistic. Like, just because you don't know exactly how things are going to work out, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work out, or it's going to just, lead you to failure. As long as you're taking those guided steps, everything is going to work out to your highest and best good.
Right, right. Exactly. That
Mhm.
really is the word. I'm so happy that we had this conversation today. Like I told you before we started recording, like I didn't realize I needed this, but I really needed this. Like just to
Yeah.
conversation to hear this because I think mentally I think I've been in like I haven't been in like it's not a bad place or anything like that, but I
Yeah.
just a space where it has felt very limbo. It's not
Mhm.
have like a sense of direction. Like I have a sense of direction as to like how things are moving in but like things aren't fully laid out. So like we were talking about of where I can see everything at the moment and recognizing where I'm trying to control things instead of surrendering things. So having this conversation to me was just a reminder of like the surrendering, the letting go, the being at ease and allowing the pieces to fall where they may. And it really honestly drives home to the reminder of when I think about every single time I've been in like some type of pinch or every single time I've been in like a transitional state or period of time, every single time, I kid you not, there's always something that's like right there. There's always something that's like when I relax or when I allow myself to like be and when I allow myself to just sit in whatever I'm going through, things always eventually basically plan out. You know what I mean? Oh, did it go off? Oh, snap, it went off. I'm sorry, y'all. She went off. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know exactly what happened on her and I don't even know if she could come back into the live. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I definitely am going to have um it's a network issue. It could be a network issue. We about to have a major storm coming this way where I'm at, so it could probably be that over here as well on the end. But you know, Venus in Cancer, keep it at ease if you can, keep it at peace when you can. Try if you can to be in this energy of receptivity and knowing and trust, which is what Venus in Cancer is teaching us, specifically in tropical astrology, if you follow that. And then other than that, Jupiter's in, Gemini, allowing the messages to kind of flow, allowing the messages to come through, allowing you to get those intuitive hits and be divinely guided in the places that you need to be where you're supposed to be. It's for example, like if you're walking to a place or walking towards a place or whatever. I had this example of like where my stove actually just currently went out. My gas stove actually currently just went out. And so I knew I couldn't I knew I couldn't what you call it, oh there she goes. There you go.
My phone overheated.
I was like, damn, she kind of stiff on there. And I was like, you there? And then it was a click. I was like, oh yeah, she gone. She gone. I was making
My bad.
everything up and stuff like that. And I was going back to the example that I was using before we
Yeah.
got live and stuff about like, being in a space of this Venus and Cancer energy. And I was talking about Jupiter and Gemini being the messenger, allowing the messages to kind of come through for you,
Mhm.
and then getting these intuitive hits. And so I started talking about when I went to the gas station. I'm like, my
Mm.
just went out and I went
Mhm.
to the gas station just for a little snack, not too
Mhm.
a little snack or whatever. And it was raining outside. And usually when it's raining and stuff or storming outside, I don't be trying to call nobody because I wouldn't want to be rolling in on a bike in the rain. So
Mhm.
we just walked to the store, go get me something or whatever, and ended up running into these four older men, randomly in the gas station. One of them wanted to dance, and it was like, "Bala, bala, bala," and I was like, "I'm trying to get my snacks," but
Mhm.
like, okay, and they're like, "We have this event for Alcohol's Anonymous celebration today. It's been 24 years since the 2000s, that we've been doing
Mhm.
the group. The group also, too, I forgot to mention when I was talking to you before, it's not a corporation. It's not an organization. They started the Alcohol Anonymous as a community outreach thing. Like it wasn't like a government institutional kind of thing. Like no, the community came together and was like,
Wow.
we needed alcohols, and it's not affiliated with anything. We need an Alcohols Anonymous thing because people were really struggling with alcoholism, and
Mm.
things. So they started that as like a community group for people to be able to come.
Aw.
So that also, I didn't even mention that, but that also is very in Cancer, like familial.
Yes, I was gonna say that. That's
Yeah,
so Venus
you
and
know what I mean?
Cancer.
Like community, familial.
Mhm.
So I say that all to say I went to this gas station. I was looking for a snack, but before I went and got into the gas station, I'm like, I'm trying to be fed. I'm like, I don't know how I'm about to get this food, but I'm like, I'm trying to get like a full meal, like to be fed, you know. And I was saying this to myself, but I got this really good feeling, you know.
Mhm.
I that manifestation act comes in not only in the speech, and we was talking about this before, but the feelings that you feel when you are coming into something. Like I just knew that I was going to be fed by somebody,
Mhm.
so I ended up going to the space. They're like, we're going to be dancing. They're going to be free food, free drinks, cake, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh snap! So going in outside, it's in the park. In the middle of the park, it starts raining, so we go inside. The program is happening or whatever, and then towards the end of the program, they're bringing out these hamburgers wrapped in foil and massive amounts of burgers that they're just passing out to everybody. And so they come out for one round and then they come out for another round. They're like, do you want another one? Then before I
Mhm.
leave, they're like, come to the back as they're giving me these drinks. I had only one drink, okay?
Mhm.
Then I go from getting one drink to like, what is that? 6, 7 drinks, because I had drank one as I was sitting there. And then just piles and piles and piles. They're giving me piles and piles of food, of hamburgers, and giving me just a bag and just loading it with food. And they're like, here,
Yeah.
please eat. Please be.
Mhm.
And it wasn't just, even though like one of my love languages, Cancer mood,
Uh.
is being fed. It's
Mhm.
one of these things where the universe was like essentially letting me know spiritually, not only what I asked for, they will provide, but I'm always
Mhm.
being looked after. I'm always being provided for,
Mhm. They
and
taken care of.
right, and just putting the
Mhm.
like I want to be fed. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm hungry. I'm trying to be fed.
Mhm.
Right. For our community and friend circle, we have to consume alcohol and other such things nowadays. It is a necessity.
I love this comment, honestly, because it really is, no matter where, like, and especially here in America, consuming alcohol has become a societal norm. Like you can't go out nowadays and just have like a mocktail or something, and somebody is not calling you out on being like corny or something like that. Like
Yeah.
you have to drink if you're going out with people, and it's like even for like business events now they're giving out alcohol and free drinks and stuff like that. So it's like even for me, like I'm seriously trying to quit. I'm not saying I'm like a huge alcoholic, but I don't like the way I feel the next day, even after drinking like one lychee martini. I just don't like the way I feel. I just feel like
Who
who
is
is
not
not consuming, you feel alone.
No,
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're the only one not drinking, it's just like, you feel like you're the cornball in the group.
yeah,
But it is really hard, and like I personally don't drink on my own. And
same.
even now, like, families have like wine coolers in their house, and just alcohol like everywhere. It's just easy to obtain, and alcohol is like the worst for your body. It's isn't it worse than smoking cigarettes? Like it's literally
It's just
chemicals that
it's
you're putting. It's poison.
yeah,
Yeah.
wine. It's interesting because now they call them it's called alcohol, or you can go to like the corner stores and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
they
And it's called spirits.
name of wine and spirits is what
Mhm.
they call it. Or you could go to
Mhm.
the spirit store to consume wine or alcohol or whatever you want to call it. Some call it, in jail they call it hooch, whatever you want to call it. And so,
Mhm.
but spiritually, when you are consuming alcohol, spiritually what it does, not only physically what it does to you, but spiritually what it can get you to invoke. When you
Mhm.
wine or when you drink alcohol, you can start to invoke, like, basically what happens is your spirit becomes an open vessel,
Mhm.
allows for spirits to intervene into your vessel.
Mhm.
So when people
Mhm.
acting up and people are like, oh, you see somebody's real true colors when they are under the influence or whatever the case may be. Really, what's
Mhm.
happening when you consume that alcohol is really like spirits jumping into your system and taking
Mhm.
over your system, because you're basically inebriated and you're basically not able to like function, even on a,
Mhm.
even on a mass scale. So like,
Mhm.
definitely feel you on that. It is like,
Yeah.
it's like I drink casually every blue moon, like by myself.
Yeah.
Like I
Mhm.
get like a cool little wine cooler or something like that. But it's sweet, like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
the juicy sweet stuff or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Every time I go out, people want to offer or buy me drinks. Like they just,
Mhm.
oh, here's a drink. Oh no, here's a beer. You can have this or whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't really need to drink. Like
Drink to have fun. Yeah.
I
And
can
it's
be
so draining for me personally. I literally feel drained the next morning when I like after drinking. And it's not that I even drink a lot. It's just that I don't know what the alcohol does to my body where I'm just like my mind feels like all wavy, and it's just not a good feeling in my body, and I just feel like I always have to try to ground myself again and try to you know be myself again after a night of drinking, and it's just not a fun activity anymore
it
for me personally.
it feels very, like, you feel like it feels hazy. It feels very
Mhm.
like it's like
Yeah.
cloud, kind of like a cloud over you when you
Mhm.
wake up. I also started feeling that, and I told myself that I probably wouldn't, but like people drink a lot of espressos here.
Mm.
I
Espresso martinis?
Yeah, like espressos. I it's
Mhm.
Even though it's
Yeah,
good,
next day feels thirsty and feels uneasy. Yep.
very much
It's so
so,
true.
very dehydrated, very just like
Mhm.
that. That's another one that I'm like,
And
yeah, definitely. I
it's
was.
and it's like instant regret every time. It's not even that like I have like a hangover or anything. It's like wow, like I literally feel drained. And
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just like even because I wake up early naturally anyway, so it's like after coming home late, like, you're losing sleep too. So, like, throughout the day, you're just recouping from just a night out of, having fun. And it's just like, ugh, I could do this every blue moon. I can't, I don't know how people go out partying every single weekend. It's just, I can't do it.
I need couple of days like where I'm just
Hmm.
chilling without
Yeah.
the excessive drinking. And if anything, if I'm gonna go out, send me a plate of food. Like, and like, like that. If I'm gonna go out, please meet me at the space where you sending me a plate of food. I'd rather eat at the function than be drinking,
Hmm.
please. And I might even
Oh,
get up,
yeah.
do a little dancey
Mm.
dance, little sauce or whatever. But like, would
Hmm.
rather I would rather do that. Smoking though, like smoking, like I can smoke every now and then, but I don't really need much to like be high. Like if
Mhm.
weed and stuff like that. Like I have like, especially if it's some good weed, maybe two hits. But I'm not like looking for the blunt, right? Like I'm not over here like
Mhm.
for like where's the weed or anything like that. Like honestly and truly, me just being at a function and enjoying my time is the most energy
Mhm.
from like I can literally sit in a space and I'll be feeling like a proud mama or something. I don't know. I don't know what to get into this. Like I will literally space and like be sitting from the chair and I'll just literally take a look around the entire space. Like sometimes I'll just
Yes.
the entire space and just getting this high off of like
Mhm.
seeing people like enjoy themselves.
Enjoy themselves.
You know,
Yep.
music is
Mhm.
going, the vibes are going, people are talking, people are laughing. I get like I get
Mhm.
and
Eg
I like
Energized by that. Yeah.
enjoying
Me
it.
too.
Sorry to say,
Mhm.
consume two more to get rid of such hangovers.
You know what? I've heard about that. This I
What's
went
pack? What's that?
I think they're saying that they have to consume alcohol in order to get rid of that hangover. Please correct me if I'm wrong,
Wait,
but one day, like one night I went out the night before, I drank and then I felt hungover and then I had like a barbecue the next day. And this guy was telling me I have to, or two more glasses, yeah. So the guy
what?
was telling me you have to drink more alcohol to get rid of the hangover. I did not drink extra alcohol. I was like, no, because he gave me like a whole cup of tequila and I was like, sir, please, you're trying to
Wait,
kill me right now.
what in the logic is that?
I don't understand the logic, but it helps some people. Apparently, it like overrides the alcohol that you had
That's
before to get rid of it. Yo,
that
I'm retired, y'all, from
yeah,
drinking.
that's and historically, you know, when we go into like the evolutionary astrology
It
of,
actually works.
of alcohol, I'm weak. Um,
Mhm.
alcohol was actually used to channel. A lot of shamans used to use alcohol to channel different spirits or to evoke different spirits. What ended up
Mm.
is they started to poison alcohol because they knew it was something also too not only that shamans use but we use in like a lot of alcohol was used for celebratory times. It was used for like
Mhm.
celebration or if somebody passed away or even sometimes a new birth and things like that. People would use it as a celebratory, but it wasn't like consumed on a regular because shit, you know,
Mhm.
just grow alcohol plants or and fruits and berries and wines and stuff like that. Now wine never gives me. I've never had a hangover from wine. I'll say that.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
I,
me either.
I like wine, and I've never had wine. If anything, when I wake up from drinking wine, I usually feel either very cozy or I feel.
Mhm.
I mean, she's sexy, but I feel really sexy. I wake up like,
Mhm.
oh,
Feeling yourself.
you know, whatever. That's how I usually feel when I drink wine. Alcohol is a little bit different,
Mhm.
but they used it as a means back in the day, especially through colonization. If we're getting into that evolutionary astrology real quick, they used
Mhm.
it to poison the communities. So they used
Mm.
it as a vice or a way to poison the communities. People became addicted to the alcohol when they were working like long hours on these, haciendas, plantations,
Mhm.
and things like
Mm.
that. Give them people free alcohol to consume, not only as an experiment, but also to basically make them addicted to, um, basically addicted to alcohol. It was killing people. It was poisoning people
Wow.
through the alcohol.
And
So
look, it's still going up to this day. Like
mhm,
our
generation
society runs on alcohol.
generate it's alcohol and also too was used as a medicinal because alcohol moves quickly through the blood. So like
Mm.
making like a tincture or something like that. You can make a tincture with herbs and it will move quickly through the blood if you consume it with alcohol. So some people make their tinctures without alcohol, but longer time to like move through the bloodstream. But some people back in the day, and still to this day, make tinctures that you can drink with alcohol because it moves, it shoots through the bloodstream. So it's easier to have the medicinal effect of the, for example, if you're doing an herb and you have like ginger and mints and things like that, you're needing to get rid of like a
A
cold and
cold.
flu that you drink it
Mhm.
and it shoots through the body, so it starts to work a little bit quicker than if you didn't have alcohol in it. So they started to poison that alcohol, poison
Mhm.
the put chemicals in the alcohol to break down the body and system fast or to make people sick,
Mm.
things like that. So
Wow.
yeah,
I
this
did
is
not know that.
cycle. It's generational, and if we're talking about like bloodlines, what
Mhm.
about blood streams, like what carries over or even through the bones and the blood from Capricorn generation to generation to generation to ancestral, even Cancer too, because Cancer rules time. It rules nostalgia, it rules time, it rules our roots. So these things
Mhm.
passed down from the body, from the lineage, from our ancestral lines and things like that. So if you notice somebody in a family dynamic struggles with like alcoholism or struggle,
Yep, my family.
yeah, it's
Yep.
something that's been.
Guyanese people, oh my god, they
I mean,
love.
y'all buy water too. So think about when you're by water, you know how people used to use the term you drink like a fish? Like you drink,
Mhm.
you're drinking like a fish. Well,
Mhm.
we talk about like the ships and ports when things were
Mhm.
through, these different ports and things like that. People used to bring alcohol, to these ports. So a lot of times people would be able to have access to these are the imports and things like that. So alcohol was kind of passed around. It's like you just came back from the voyage, alcohol, drink, clink the glass, everybody, it's like it was like a,
Mhm.
a natural thing for people to be able to do. So it's like a generational thing that's been passed down from generation to generation. It says in India, one who is in spiritual practice does not consume garlic and onion too, because they also arm our health. Does it now? They,
I can't live without onions.
yeah, or garlic. I can live
Yeah,
with
I love it. Wow, I didn't know that.
it.
Wow.
They're also extricate our aggression. That's interesting. I feel
Mhm.
like raw onion
Mhm.
is cool for consumption because raw onion does a lot of good for the eyes. It does a lot of good for the skin. It really is good for the body, like cleansing out your body. Garlic too,
Mhm.
really.
Mhm.
In India, there's a practice like that.
I thought it was honestly a medicine. Like I know, like when people have colds, they'll drink, you know, things with garlic, tea, and onions, to like get the mucus out of your body.
Definitely, I've seen people like consume whole garlics raw to
Mhm.
like cleanse like you said, that mucus. Um,
Mhm. But
and
I
also,
think he's referring to, or she is referring to, like the spiritual aspect. Yeah, but not for the soul. Wow.
well,
I don't.
how would it be healthy for the body but not for the soul? I'm interested. I'm curious.
Mhm.
I've never heard of like this
Mhm.
before, just to know. Also, too, ginger is also a really good one to consume. Now, I don't necessarily eat ginger whole because it's very spicy to eat whole. That's a
Mhm.
you can consume to like um break down like mucus and things like that in the system as well. Too.
Mhm.
Also, too, I'm mentioning these things because Venus in Cancer talks about care, like caring
Yeah.
for. I know a lot of times we look at Venus in Cancer energy of for others, but in order
Mhm.
to carry for, or in order for you to care for others, you have to be caring for the self. So,
Yeah.
who is the answer?
Google's the answer.
I want you. Since in India they talking about this, Google be telling us a lot of things. I'm trying to hear from you what it's talking about because I ain't never heard of that. That's crazy. That's,
Yeah,
that's especially
that's very interesting.
with especially with ginger and garlic. Now I could see maybe like an overconsumption of something for anything, but those two things, like health, to me, health is wealth. So if you're healthy spiritually, your soul is healthy. So for those
Mhm.
two to be like
Not
different,
cohesive.
yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't it is doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, did you have anything else that you wanted to maybe bring, give, leave as a word? Also, to promotion, people who are seeing this in the future. wanted to go ahead
Oh,
and
yeah.
go, um, you can also do that as well.
Um, yeah, I feel like we can, well, like we were talking about before, since it's definitely a good thought. Oh, I like this person. Um, like I was telling you before, astrocartography is definitely a good way to find out where you can move in order to get more abundance or more opportunities or find the relationship of your goals. So if any of you guys are trying to, find another way of seeing if this new location you want to move is a good move, I would highly recommend getting a reading from Crew or a rainy storm and letting me know, guys, if you need help moving to this new country or a new area in, you know, the United States, another state, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to help. My Instagram is Mary Tom Realtor, and yeah, you guys could find more information about me if you want to follow me on Instagram or TikTok. You can find me there.
And also too, I put Mary's information also too in the link below. So for those that might be watching it in the future, you can find all that information. But she is amazing. She's awesome, and if you're just looking forward to like learning a little bit about what's happening in the market, with
Hmm.
home and home buying and things like that, you could definitely her for that as well. So double
Yes.
a combo. And other than that,
Period.
I would love for you to keep in touch about some of your journeys and travels. I think in the future maybe we could do segments like this, but also add
Hmm.
like clips and things like that that you've experienced as well in your travel.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is to the Astro Traveling series, and we have the feature Mary here. And I would definitely look forward to hearing about your travels and things like that as things continue to develop also as well in the future.
And I just want to thank you for having me here today and making the time for us to even go on this live. Like, I really appreciate you. And even for coming up with this idea, I look forward to, making more content together and doing another live together.
Me too. I'm like it's given series. Like I want to hear from y'all. What we done the reading, but now I want to hear from y'all. Y'all also too. I want to open it up. I think this could be a
Mhm.
series just gradually
Mhm.
channel, and they are planning to go on like a trip. So if you're interested in going on like some type of trip, really I like trips that are a little bit more. It could be anything personable to you because especially when it has to do with like, well, it doesn't have to be anything family or anything like that, but something that's very personal on you to go. Now, if you're just going for like a wild girls' night out, I mean, shit, if you want to share that, you can. But, but like things that are very cool in a way of like you're very open to wanting to share. You don't have to share if you don't
Yeah.
want. You could definitely come on the channel after getting a reading with me and talking about your experience
Aw.
pre area, I guess you could say pre trip to after the trip and things like that as well.
Mhm.
Call the
Yeah.
I surely enjoy these types of conversations. Call the tail end, but love this. Hey, Brandy, Blue. I'm sorry. I'm very informative and good for personal growth. Definitely. So,
Yeah, thank you guys for joining as well. It makes it even more fun getting you guys feedback from your perspective because me and her have these conversations all the
all the
time, and it's fun. It's fun to have these conversations together, but when we open it up to the community, you guys also play an important part of, this growth as well.
right. And just using this also too as a greater tool. And that's something that you mentioned when we first started this because Mary is actually, don't get it twisted, Mary's actually who brought this idea to me. Okay. This whole I was studying astrocartography, but she's actually the one who brought this into the conversation and was like, have you thought about doing astrocartography? Like it just seems like something that you might be good at. And so we did like a read.
Yeah.
It kind of turned into her getting the reading, but then we went into astrocartography during the reading after turned into this whole thing. Like, yo, you should
Yeah.
think about maybe like switching, you doing the astro traveling thing, but like switching gears and maybe opening up this conversation. So thank you for like inspiring me to like open up this bigger conversation. It's something I didn't even know I was actually great at. I'm like, oh shit, like this is actually something I can actually really do. And I love talking about maps and travel and, exploring and things like that. And so thank you for
N-
having me open it up. So like, yeah, we can make this into a series. So anybody who's interested, coming in to talk about their experience pre-trip, and then sharing after the reading and things like that, please let me know, reach out, and we can go from there for sure. So thank
Yeah, and I just want to add too, like I want to thank you because this is something that I've been wanting to do for like I think a year and a half now. It's like an idea that came to my head, and I'm like, I'm not in like I don't know much about astrocartography, but I've always been a fan of yours and I've always watched your video. You're one of the few astrologers trust on YouTube because you're just so authentic with your your content. I'm so serious. I'm not even trying to gas your head, but it's true. Like you're just so authentic with your content. You give so much good quality information and I learn every time, I watch you. So hey, it's you guys
you.
be sure on Insta I do. Okay. Yeah, so I just want to thank you as well for, helping me bring this idea to light. And I just look forward to, collaborating more and just, seeing how far we can go with this.
Almost definitely. I'm ready to start adding like clips, and also do
Mhm.
personal diaries by the water, and you know different experiences. Also, too, I would love to add as a add to the series, you talking about if it's something that you want to do, but
Mhm.
talking about like maybe what we can look forward to in like the housing market, or just
Mm.
not necessarily the housing market per se, but like home and ownership and just things or tidbits that you would add to the
Mhm.
great conversation with people. Um,
Yeah.
and whatever
Well,
it is you want to add, I'll definitely promote it on this channel, especially in relation to astrocartography, or however you kind of want to.
yeah, astrology as well. Yeah, I would love to do that. I was actually making content a little bit before with how the market was going based on what's going on with the moon signs because I know, the moon or cancer energy has to do with home and, where your roots are and stuff like that. So I was like, let me kind of collaborate those two because real estate and astrology is my two loves. So yeah, I would definitely love to do another live where we can just talk about that or make videos and content about that if you guys are interested.
Definitely. I would love to. I would definitely love to do that. This would be a
Mhm.
fantastic series. Thank you, Blue. Could you guys please share Insta ID? I'm definitely going to put Mary's information in the description box so you can follow her on for sure. Everything for me is a rainstorm. Seventh house of the birth chart. I do have videos on seventh house of the birth chart, but
Mhm.
as far as what Mary was talking about, like moon, that can actually be a whole astrology, an idea, like talking about it, but like the best places to live or the best places to be based on your moon sign. Um,
Mhm.
you can make series, you can make courses, you can make like, I don't know, PDF writings about Mercury and Gemini over there. PDF writings about maybe like the best places to live based on like your moon sign. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
And I did a little bit of it like as a reel on my page if you guys want to check on my Instagram, but it's just like a small little tidbit, but I would love to just have a conversation about it too and just go more into detail cuz
I'm
people
with it.
loved it.
I would love to. Maybe do like a moon, because since you talked about the moon, maybe doing like a moon astrology series, and we can figure out
Mhm.
kind of like make it into like the best places you live according to your moon sign, or best places to
Mhm.
situate, like what side of the world. Now, granted, y'all, we do need the whole chart, all right, but
Yeah.
just energy that you might could feel based or according to your moon sign, and maybe we can like curate some of the best spaces to be, and then you could come in and talk about maybe like the market and living in these places and what that looks like. That would be dope. i would
Yeah.
i would love
No,
to.
let's do it.
Let's do
We're
that.
doing it.
after we after we kind of conclude and stuff like that, maybe sometime next week we can sit and talk about what that could look like, because I'm definitely with that, and I love talking about the
Yeah.
I love talking about
Mhm.
things that make you feel comforted and stuff like that as well too. Yes, fourth house stuff,
Yes.
definitely
Mhm.
we can talk about that, especially
Yeah.
fourth house roots, or I see is a big thing. Your ice
Mhm.
stuff as well too. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank y'all so much
No, thank
for
you. And thank
you
you everyone else.
for a longer part series where we can kind of talk about this stuff. Also, too, we might also be able to talk about might be talking about some of this stuff or trying to find a way. I don't know exactly how we can do this on Insta or on TikTok. But also too talking about this, like maybe doing like smaller clips and stuff like that on
Mhm.
finding a way to talk about this on TikTok and doing smaller clips. It says
Exactly.
is it chargeable? You know my horoscope from you, ma'am. What chargeable? Is it chargeable or changeable? No, chargeable. Also, too, so much astrology and astrocartography is so extensive.
It
Definitely,
is that
it's
that is
very
why this conversation has been going on for like 2 hours,
no
y'all.
for real. You could go in so many avenues because we're
Yeah.
about like the astrological transits. For example, Venus being in Cancer, but they're
Mhm.
talking about the lead up that happened to this conversation actually coming about, right?
Mhm.
About your personal placement, right? And how that
Yeah.
all affected this particular trip before, after, and or before, during, and after. So it can go. We can go so many directions, but what
Mhm.
like a moon, maybe like a moon fourth house
Yeah,
roots
we should do a series.
about what that looks like.
A whole
For
Mhm. Yeah.
It says, "Will I have to pay to get info on my astro chart?" Yes, I do have a link. Bio. I'm thinking of probably making just opening up and making like the astrocartography donation base. Just doing like preliminary consultations, but I'll definitely make updates on the channel about that. But I do have other readings, evolutionary readings, and like just general readings available. But yeah, I'm feeling frisky with Venus and Cancer. I'll full donation based readings for the astrocartography. But other than that, you already know what it is. It's a rainy storm, aka crew, checking in, checking out without a doubt. And we will see y'all on the upcoming series for
Yes.
I don't know, astro traveling series and things like that. So I'll see y'all soon for sure.
Yes, thank you everyone. Bye.
All right, bye. How do I get off of this? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Oh wait. Oh, I think this is O. Hello, astrologer from India. Manoj. Bye, Akshay, and later, Blue. I'll see y'all soon, and everybody else who's checked in from the channel and things like that. So, also too, Uranus will be dropping on Thursday. Uranus through the houses will be dropping on Thursday. I'm probably about to go live um in a second and actually talk about Uranus. So if you want to catch it live, I'll probably go live in probably like the next 30 minutes or so, talking about Uranus, but it won't drop until Thursday. Not being excited about Venus and Cancer as a Cancer rising. Oh, it's glow up season. It's glow up time, baby. Go ahead, Blue. All right. Well, in about 30 minutes, if y'all want to come back, I'll be talking about Uranus through the houses as well. So I will see y'all in a second. You already know what it is. A rainy storm checking in, checking out without a doubt. Deuces.